Elyse. And I'm Katrina, and today we will be addressing the question, how might education mediate difference and dominance in regards to socio-economic class?
A striking issue that could alter our state's economy is a job cut from Queensland Health. The Newman government confirmed in September 2012 that 2,754 jobs would be slashed. This figure comprised of 1,217 full-time jobs from head office and 1,537 remaining jobs such as doctors and nurses. Mr. Springboard commented that the cost of wages for simply the 1,537 staff equated to $150 million, as seen in the Brisbane Times, 2012.
Currently, there is fear that over 300 Queensland police and other staff could be forced into redundancy in order to restructure the 8 police regions down to 5. With just these two issues, in the past 6 months in Queensland alone, over 3,000 jobs are said to be lost. What is to happen to the livelihood of these people and, more importantly, their families? One of our main concerns as educators with these job cuts is the effects it will have on their children and the way that this difference in livelihood could affect their education.
The loss of one or both parents' income could alter the class location of the family from middle class to working class or even underclass. For the child, this could result in a shift in their hegemonic point, as seen in the Week 8 lecture.
Many children react and even overreact when their parents are having financial difficulties. This issue and shift in hegemonic point may put these children at risk of anxiety, depression, behaviour problems and poor peer relationships, as seen in the Wall Street Journal 2008.
Poor peer relationships and many of the other possible effects from this issue can place the students further towards the other, and even towards the edges of the sphere of normality. Week 8 online lecture. This heightens the risk of demonisation, creating further issues. This is displayed in the following clip.
This video displays the dominant student as being able to afford a new uniform, nutritious lunch and expensive technologies. She does not understand the concept of difference and sees the male student as other, as he is of lower class.
As seen in the Week 1 diagram, the female student is the self, in the middle looking out. Those who possess different qualities are the other. Along the identity axis of class, the zone of difference between the two students is quite large. It is our job as educators to compress this zone of difference and teach students to accept that difference is just difference and not something to derogate.
In order to address the notions of difference and dominance in the curriculum, we believe that the issue should be dealt with as a whole class group, both inside and outside of the classroom. The target group we have chosen is grades 5 to 8, as we believe they will be mature enough to deal with the issues raised. Our belief is backed up by legendary theorist Piaget, who has stated that children from ages 11 and older are in the formal operations stage of cognitive development. In this stage, students can think about abstract concepts and consequences of possible actions, as seen in Sigelman and Ryder 2009.
During this age group, students become aware of material items as a way of impressing peers, instead of personality as in previous schooling years, according to Kennedy Moore 2011. The move to high school in Year 8 is often daunting and friendship is made on socio-economic class similarities.
A popular movie that could be shown to the class to display financial hardship is The Pursuit of Happiness, featuring Will Smith. This movie displays the true meaning of happiness and will help teach students that money does not necessarily mean you will be happy, as described by IMBD 2006.
The movie would make students question their values in relation to money. Students would then be asked, what would you do if you lost your job and could not provide for your family? And what would be some characteristics of a normal student?
We would then ask the students to make a list of all the characteristics that they would view as normal. When going through the list, the suggestions could be grouped into materialistic and physical features. From this, we could also question how many of these characteristics are necessary for the student to attend school. This will help students gain a better understanding of why some students do not have an abundance of belongings, just what is necessary.
During maths lessons, the students would be asked to make a budget up using the average middle class income. For this budget, students are to prioritise the following: rent or mortgage, food, power, water, petrol and other expenses. This can then help them to understand that these necessities are more important than buying leisurely items.
After prioritising, students will then be asked to make a budget using an average underclass income. Students will then compare the remaining income of both budgets in order to see the difference and thus create an understanding in order to eliminate derogation.
During home economics, students will examine the prepared food budgets for an upper class, middle class, working class and underclass family. In groups, students will then have to research the cost of their planned meal in order to determine if it is affordable for their set class. The students will then prepare the dishes in class as groups to taste other class dishes to truly have a taste of different classes. The taste of all the dishes will be pleasurable, showing students that although the price or worth of the dishes may vary, they are still enjoyable in order to link this with people and their worth. This activity engages all students despite their identity, location and sense of self.
At the end of the week, students could write in their journal what would change drastically if their socio-economic class plummeted. This process would involve students being put into the shoes of those whom are in the marginalised identity location in order to gain a deeper understanding of what it means to be the other. By conducting these types of group work activities, students develop a sense of belonging within the classroom.
People of underclass and even working class can feel devalued in society due to a dominant middle class, a term explained by Hickey in Week 9 online lecture. What could you do to help these devalued people enjoy their education during school?
Acceptance of the underclass society provides this minority with the confidence to achieve academically and physically while at school. As educators, we focus on critical pedagogy, thus ridding the reproduction theory. The reproduction theory existing on the manufacturing metaphor, this being what goes in comes out. For example, working class parents produce working class children, as stated by Bowes and Gintis, Week 8 online lecture.
This will give our students the opportunity to strive to be successful in their occupation to break the manufacturing class cycle and redefine their place in society. Hickey, Week 9 online lecture. Thank you for watching our presentation.